100-minute bag, that's a big number. Big numbers, big numbers. Whole team counted, that's a big number.
Hey, foreign cars, foreign seats with the foreign leather. Foreign number, put the card in the ATM in the sad era. Flex mode, this ain't Southwest, this is jet. I ain't gotta shut the cell off, cause the iPhone don't got a jet mode. Bad need pesto. If you wanna come, let's go. We ain't going nowhere special. I just wanna see Modesto. Hit your thought, I'ma catch those. Mexican, I make pesos. Hit your sauce, I'll replace those. Number saved, no name though. We need more, tell them we need more.
All right, Coach, we are pleased as always to be bringing you coverage of the National Football League on EA Sports. They do it big here in Houston, and a second ago it was a Texas-sized welcome for their hometown guys. They're fired up and ready to go as they get set to match up with the Denver Broncos. 3/4 of the NFL season are complete. What lurks in our final month? We're underway in Week 14. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Here's a guy on his fourth franchise in 2 years, Carlos Hyde. And he'll get this from the 25 to the 30 for a pickup of 5. This running game's so important for them, and they know that. It helped lead them to a victory last week when he was over 100 yards.
Let's face it, it's their identity. And that's what they want to play to. They want to be that team that runs the ball really well each and every week. And right now, we're seeing a pretty good pattern of that happening.
47's the mic. 47's the mic. Hey, defense.
From the 30 on second down, Watson, he finds Hopkins complete. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. 16 yards, a first down.
First and 10 at the 46-yard line.
They'll fake the handoff. Now Watson sliding out of the pocket. This one brought in by the 6'5" tight end Waring. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. A really good pickup of 28 yards. So a first and 10 now in Denver territory at the 27. Now Hyde. The All-Pro Von Miller there on the tackle.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable second down. A very solid gain on that play.
The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6.
Watch the slant. Watch the slant.
To throw is Watson. Being chased out left. Oh, the ball is out. Watson lost it. It's picked up by the Broncos.
I know that taking care of the football is something that's drummed into every guy who plays this position, no matter what, whether it's running it, in the pocket, out of the pocket. But it's almost surprising to me that there aren't more fumbles by that position because of the way that they get attacked on each and every play.
Well, we had the fumble last week. Now here's 2 weeks in a row with a fumble loss.
Concentration has got to be there, and he's got to understand how much time he has to take care of a play. And maybe his clock is off just a little bit.
It's 2nd and 8 at the 27-yard line.
They'll break the huddle, come up on 2nd and 8 at the 27-yard line. Flacco on the give to Lindsey. And they're able to get this one across the 35. It's a first down on a gain of 10. Well, we talked about Phillip Lindsay so much last year, but it bears repeating. Undrafted in 2018. The Broncos would sign him in May, and that was a good decision. He would have a 1,000-yard season, 9 touchdowns en route to a Pro Bowl appearance. So from undrafted to playing in the Pro Bowl in 10 months, that's pretty clean living for Phillip Lindsay. He's going to let this one go deep. And that is incomplete. Took a shot there on first down, but he couldn't reel it in.
Have to give a lot of credit to the defense on that play. They were prepared. Ordinarily, when they take the big shot downfield to the big guy, that's usually a mismatch that the offense is used to winning. But the preparation showed for the defense, and they were able to bat it away.
They work again from the 38 on 2nd and 10. Now Flacco. Blitz coming, and down he goes. Bernardrick McKinney muscled his way in for the sack.
Now, we talk about players blitzing all the time. I often laugh and sometimes call it just straight-ahead pursuit. What a running start right back to the backfield for him.
Yeah, it really didn't give anybody a chance to get up there and stop him.
No, I mean, that's really, really difficult. You're asking a whole lot anyway, but when he gets that kind of a start and comes through clean, oftentimes the advantage definitely goes to the defensive player.
Now a pass hauled in downfield, and he's going to be taken down with another first down as the stop's made at the Texans' 42.
Nice catch right there. Brings to mind the sentence, when in doubt, find your veterans.
I used to laugh back in the day when they would call guys like him crafty veterans. You get up in your 30s, you're still playing receiver, but you're around that long at that position, you're doing something right.
Just remember this, when he was young, he thought the crafty veteran was simply a guy who couldn't run anymore. Now he understands a little bit better.
He lets this one fly toward the back of the end zone, and that is incomplete. Showed off the arm strength there, but to no avail. Second down.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that first down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
On second down now, it's Lindsay. He'll fight forward for a couple down inside the 40.
Well, they had that one sniffed out. Excellent run blitz. Stopped that one for a short gain.
What makes a good run blitz a good run blitz?
The ability to stay on task, to follow up your assignment, go to the gap you're supposed to cover, and not be deterred by anything else.
Third down. Flacco needs a decent chunk of yardage. And that is incomplete.
Well, it certainly appears that they're going to try and keep getting him the football. It's the third time they've looked in his direction. Unfortunately, haven't completed one yet, but I'm not sure they're going to shy away from it. They feel like they've got something there, and they want to capitalize.
I think you're right. We're only in the first quarter, so a lot of opportunities ahead. They were probably hoping to get him a little bit closer for a shorter field goal, but he was able to get it done from deep.
Nice little tester for him to begin things, huh? I think he was hoping for a little bit more of a chip shot. Instead, they made him stretch it out a little bit, but he's got to feel great now that he put it through the pipes.
And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Houston's offense already at the line, set to get going. And last time the turnover on the fumble, and they were in enemy territory, so that had to be very frustrating. Down on the scoreboard here, can't do it again.
You nailed every part of what was frustrating.
And the Broncos get there and take him down. Von Miller in there for the sack, and that is now 21 for him on the year. Wow, what a season. That huge loss on the sack makes this job much more difficult. It's now second down and 22 yards to go. They'll run for the first time with Johnson. And a short 3-yard pickup gets him up to the 15.
Brandon, all things considered, they have to feel pretty good about getting that type of a gain, considering the blitz that they just had against them.
So it's third and long, and defensively not a real surprise. They're in the dime.
Let's go, let's bring it, let's bring it. Tighten up, tighten up, tighten up. Under 10, under 10, 10.
Out of the gun, Watson. He's going to float this one deep right side. And that's caught inside the 30. Watson to Hopkins for a huge hookup, 58 yards. That's a heck of a way to convert on third and long, and he showed a lot of trust in his receiver.
And that trust was justified because he went up and got the football and converted on a down. You shouldn't. 3rd and long like that, that's supposed to be an incompletion at the least.
First down, a run with Hyde. And they'll get this down to the 10. 17 more yards on that one as they keep the drive rolling.
Tremendous blocking by the interior of the offensive line. They didn't just gash him there. They blasted a gaping hole for him to gallop through. I think if he comes back to the huddle, he better be giving them a whole lot of credit and thanking them for that much space to rumble.
2 big plays in succession. Not sure this D knows what hit him, but now they got to get ready. It's 1st and goal. They'll run high. And this time they're able to bottle him up as they'll stop him at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play that time, and it sets up 2nd and goal.
Leads to 2nd and goal at the 10-yard line.
They'll go again here from the 10-yard line on 2nd and goal.
Check.
Now a play fake, and it's Watson. And that one is incomplete. And it also concludes quarter number 1. 3-0 after 1 on EA Sports.
Let's make these babies cry all the way back home, yo. Let's make these babies cry all the way back home. Under crunch. Check 15, check 15.
Now Watson on 3rd and goal. Buying time to his left. He can run for it, and he will. The decision to tuck and run gets him 3, but that's not enough. Now it's 4th.
Well, partner, nothing comes open here, so he decides to escape out of there, and he doesn't pick up a first down, but he does gain additional yardage to set up a possible field goal attempt if they decide to go that route.
No one attempted or made more field goals than Fairbairn last year. He was 37 of 42.
And they were grateful for every one of those that put 3 points on the board. But I'll guarantee you, Bill O'Brien, the head coach, is thinking to himself, we need to use them a lot less in 2019. Let's make sure we score some more touchdowns.
At their own 25-yard line.
The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. And fortunate to get points on the board last time. They hit a really long field goal to do so.
The kickers in today's game are so good and so skilled and hit from distances that we almost start to take them for granted. And we can't do that. That's a long field goal that they got 3 points out of. They've got to feel good about that, and they better make sure they love him up because he's helped them out.
Yeah, now we'll see if that offense can put 6 on the board here. We'll see. Ball on the 30. They'll come up with a 2nd and 5. Flacco. He's got his big tight end, Fant. 50 catches for him now on the year, and he's got a first down. Fant, the first-round pick out of Iowa, taken 20th overall. 2nd tight end taken in the draft. Amazingly, the 2nd Iowa tight end taken in the draft is teammate T.J. Hawkinson. 8th overall, he was selected by the Lions. But Noah Fant really wowed everyone in Indianapolis at the Combine and now trying to parlay that into an impressive NFL career. And he'll work it across midfield inside the 45. 18 big yards on that one and a Denver first.
First down, Broncos.
So a 1st and 10 now in Houston territory at the 43. Flacco looks to throw. This is the tight end Fant. And he's going to get this one down to the edge of the red zone. Call that a very strong gain of 24.
The goal for any offense versus his own defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Benardrick McKinney able to record his 5th sack of the season.
Partner, the Mike linebacker, the middle linebacker has so many different responsibilities. How excited do you think he was to get home with that blitz?
Yeah, he wants a sack. He got it.
Check 52. Hey, Monday.
Throwing on 2nd and long. Flacco. And his throw's going to be incomplete. The linebacker, Zach Cunningham, there defensively to make that play.
when you see passes knocked down by those guys I call the frustrated fullbacks, the linebackers, you know that in their zone coverage, they were able to drop, see the ball thrown, and react to it very quickly.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down. Operating out of the gun, Flacco into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Tashawn Gibson, and a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
This will be a short gain of 3 before he's brought down at the 22. A 3-yard pickup on 2nd and 4. Now they'll need to convert here on 3rd and a little more than a yard.
Post set. 19.
Back to throw, Watson. He's going to fire one deep, middle of the field. And unable to connect, incomplete. Now give them credit, they took their shot, but it's going to bring up 4th down.
You hear the calls for a penalty, but I just don't think so. I think in this situation, the defender was making sure his guy couldn't hold on to the football. So I don't see anything to warrant a flag.
No, I'm with you. There was contact, but I'm happy they kept that flag in the back pocket. A great return there of 22 yards. And the Broncos take over, 1st down and 10. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. And, of course, they'd like to forget the inning, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part 2, right? Because once they threw the interception and finished off the drive, that does them no good to go back and say, well, you know, we had a good one going. Finish things off. That's the only way you can get it done.
Throwing on 2nd down, Flacco. That's caught over the middle by Fant. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets him up for 3rd down.
And after that completion, you can understand why so many teams in the league are emphasizing speed on defense at every position. The tight ends have created so many tough matchups now. If you can't run with a tight end as a linebacker, this is going to be the result every time.
And he will have the 1st down as he's brought down up near midfield. They only get 2 there, but on 3rd and 1, that's all they needed to keep the drive going. They don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway. Throwing here on 1st down, Flacco. There goes a deep ball, end zone. And it'll be intercepted. Picked off by Justin Reed. 1:53 remaining in this first half of play. A reminder, once we hit halftime, as we do all season, we'll send it down to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have all the stats and scores from games in progress around the NFL.
The best multitasker in the business, the coach.
Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd down.
Perfectly designed blitz right there. They took that one from the grease board to the field because they were able to free up their linebacker to get into the backfield and spill the play.
Set. 19. Mike 47. No gain on this defense. No gain. Mike's 47. Mike's 47. Let's go, tackle. Let's go. We got this.
Looking to throw on 2nd down. Watson. It's wearing the tight end with it. And he's brought down after a very nice gain. That one a gain of 20 and a 1st down.
The beauty of route running is it doesn't matter what position, everyone's doing the same thing. In this case, tight end, selling the vertical route. Get the defensive back on his heels, break off for the corner. With good timing, you get a completion as we just saw there.
And the throw left sideline here is caught, but they'll rule it incomplete. Couldn't keep his feet in. 2nd down.
It's been my observation there's been a nice variety of play calling defensively. You and I often talk about an offense's ability to keep a defense off balance with what they're doing. I think the converse has been true in this game.
Yeah, I think you're right. They seem to have gone off tendency quite a bit, but only the second quarter, a lot of time to change things. That catch good for 5. It's third down. Now the Texans will burn the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half. The Texans on third down, just 1 for 3 thus far. This will be 3rd and 5. To the air yet again, Watson. A bullet throw, but incomplete.
Didn't have a receiver open downfield, and as it turned out, couldn't even find his outlet man because of the coverage. It was way too tight, unable to find anyone open.
And this is away. It's a high kick, and he got all of it. Taken in at the 11. Great blocking on the return. It springs him for 25. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. Less than 30 seconds to go in the half. Pretty good starting field position, all things considered. You'd think they definitely have time to get into field goal range.
Yes, and you get into the huddle or you come off the bench here and you've called multiple plays because you're going to say, this is how we're going to run them in order, guys. You don't have time for audibles. You don't have time to change anything. You're trying to get the ball in position to at least get 3. They've got a great shot to do it right here.
That's good for 28 yards. Flacco from the gun. And Sanders has got it complete. And he's got this down almost to the 20 before he's dropped. Now the Broncos are going to call the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 14 seconds to go in this first half. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. From the gun, Flacco. And he is into the end zone for a Denver touchdown. Noah Fant in the final seconds of the first half. And the Broncos have taken the lead. So they're able to break the tie just before halftime. Now they just don't want anything crazy to happen on the ensuing kickoff.
Yeah, they want to just add the extra point, get the kickoff taken care of, and get to the locker room with the lead that they fought so hard to get.
This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he'll get across the 20 before he's brought down at about the 23-yard line.
The Texans take over 1st and 10 at their own 23-yard line.
Houston's offense already at the line, set to get going. Likely time for just one final play, and then it'll be off to the locker room to talk about how they can erase this deficit.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people look at it and go, well, maybe you take a shot here. Maybe you get some momentum going into the half. What's the flip side of that? You do something crazy, quarterback gets hit, ball comes free, and now you're down an even bigger margin. Go ahead and take this one, go to the locker room, start over.
And this should be the final play before the quarter ends.
65.
The final shot before the break. Watson. He's going to float this one deep right side. And that will be incomplete. Tried to dial up the long way out there, but it'll be 3rd down. So we come upon halftime with the visiting Broncos taking the lead to the locker room as we send you on over to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman in our EA Sports Halftime Report. Take it away, Coach. Broncos with a lead, and they will be receiving this kickoff here as quarter 3 is underway. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And in hindsight, probably should have stayed where he was, as he'll only get back to the 16-yard line.
Let's go.
The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. They have the lead now. They'll be looking for some separation here as we begin the third quarter.
I like the way you term that, because now I think they go a little bit deeper into their playbook. They like what they did in the first half. That worked okay. But in order to get the separation that you just talked about, change things up a little bit. Change your tendencies. Try and hit them a little bit more with some things they didn't see in the first half.
We'll see if they do just that. Now it's Lindsey. And he'll get this up to the 30-yard line. Give him 14 on that one and a first down.
Sometimes it's hard to believe, but there are times this game is about patience, isn't it? Has had the game he expected, but that run there, that may get him going.
I was just going to say, maybe that gives him a little juice, because you're right, he struggled, especially in that first half.
Yeah, and I know the great ones.
And that's caught inside the 30. And all the way home for a Broncos score. Emmanuel Sanders, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Broncos push further out in front. Always important to get the first score of the second half. Now you start to pull away a little bit and get some breathing room going.
And now we find out about the fortitude of the group that's behind, because they were counting on getting into the game a little bit more, right? Maybe they get the first score. That doesn't happen. It looks almost insurmountable, but it's not. Let's see how hard they play the rest of the game.
And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. And their halftime hole now even deeper, and they need a big drive here just to answer the first touchdown of the second half scored against them.
They were down at the half. Now, as you mentioned, they're down a little bit bigger, but no time for discouragement. Just got to get back to it, right? Put your shoulder against the boulder and start pushing and try and get back to where you were to start the half.
Ball on the 30. They'll come up with a 2nd and 5. Now Watson. Complete. It's Johnson. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. A gain of 13. It's a first down.
And this is why trying to cover the angle route is so difficult. Anyone playing the linebacker position, when they see a running back out of the backfield widen, because he heads towards the flat first, oftentimes you widen too much and overcommit. He cuts up inside, and that's what we saw there. A nice pickup for a first down.
A first down carry here for Johnson. And he'll be brought down, losing yardage back at the 40. That's going to wind up a loss of a full 3 yards on first down.
But if these guys are going to chop into that deficit, they're going to have to do a much better job in the run game. Caught behind the line of scrimmage, no yardage to be found.
Hey, reset. Take 47. Come on.
Watson going to pull back the handoff and keep it himself. It's complete to Fuller. They get 11 back on that one. It leads to 3rd down. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down.
Let's get off the field, D.
They'll run it. Here's Hyde. And Hyde will not get there as they force him to the ground shy of the marker. He needed 2. He got 1, and that's going to leave him with 4th down at a yard. The Texans send the punter out as he's on to kick it away. And problems spreading to the punt team now. This one goes all the way into the end zone on the fly, so that'll come back to the 20. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. They've really distanced themselves. They have put the pedal to the metal, I guess, so to speak.
So definitely have them in the rearview mirror, don't they? I mean, you're exactly right. Being able to string together these drives that end up in points, It's almost like a run in basketball to create that distance, and they're on a really big-time one right now.
It becomes contagious, doesn't it?
It absolutely does, because oftentimes it translates to your defense as well, because they're excited about getting the ball back for their offense that's playing so well.
Well, they are clicking right now. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down.
On any explosive run, you can almost feel the ground shaking, and that's from the offensive linemen creating space for their runners. I had an old coach tell me before, they always told his runners, run around the offensive line in pregame. Get used to the ground shaking so you don't trip and fall when it happens in a game.
Flacco's throw there, complete. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field. That hold coming from the left side of the line.
Hands got caught in the cookie jar on that one, and the flag came out. Penalty against them.
On second down, a run with Lindsey. And they bring him to the ground just shy of midfield. 12 yards there and a first down.
Boy, he does it at a high level, doesn't he? Because when I watch him, I think of his vision. Straight ahead, peripheral. Also has that sense of where holes are going to be before they actually open. I think that helps set him apart from many of the other backs in the league.
Rush coming, and he's taken down. Whitney merciless, racking up sack number 12 for him on the year.
Hindsight is 20/20, partner. Maybe they should have kept it on the ground again.
Well, it almost looked like the O-line was run blocking again. I mean, they opened up a big hole last time. This time they opened up a hole, and the quarterback got sacked. After the sack on first down, Flacco. And that'll be incomplete. Took a pretty good shot as he tried to pull that one in. Couldn't hang on, third down. And Charles, got to like what this defense has been able to do these last couple of plays.
Yeah, they get the sack on first down, then they force the incomplete pass. Now they're just a play away from getting the football right back, but it's a big play. They've got to hold up.
Third and long for Joe Flacco. And a throw there going to be incomplete.
And absolutely zero surprise that one was incomplete, huh? I mean, truthfully, how many OCs have we seen with 3rd and 20 on their play sheet and go, oh, I've got the exact play to dial up?
No, that's just a head scratching down when you're facing a 3rd and 20. Tried to complete it, couldn't get it done. And this is a beauty as that ball's going to angle out at the 6-yard line. Here we go. And for an offense that is struggling, this is not where you want to start from. Great punt.
Fantastic punt. And for all those who wonder, what do punters do during the course of practice each and every day? The best ones do what we just saw there. Work on positioning the football and helping their team.
Here's Hyde as they begin on the ground. And he's going to take this up past the 10 to about the 11. Todd Davis, the Broncos' leading tackler last year, up to make the stop. Tough running there. That's a hard-earned 4 yards.
Yeah, those are the unsung kind of runs. They don't fill up the stat sheet, but they do set you up in good position on second down.
To throw on 2nd and 6. Watson escaping the pressure right. And seeing nowhere to throw, he chucks this one away from harm. Incomplete. Now it's 3rd down.
Oh, I like that right there. Not only was it the right play, throwing it away like that, frankly, I think it was the only play.
Yeah, got outside of the pocket, realized he had nothing, just chucked it free.
Yeah, live to fight another down, right?
Throwing on 3rd down, Watson. And that will be incomplete.
This defense is continuing to contest every deep ball that is thrown downfield. And look, it doesn't matter whether you're playing man or zone. Eventually that becomes man on man. And you've got to trust yourself and go up at that moment of truth and make a play on the football.
So possession goes over here on the punt. And it'll be a short field for the Broncos as they take over 1st and 10. So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. On 1st and 10, it's Lindsey. Oh, fighting off the defender. And some room to roam now. And all the way home for a Broncos score. Phillip Lindsay, his 14th touchdown now on the year. And the Broncos push further out in front.
Well, partner, that was another explosive run, and one thing I've learned in our time in this game, yes, the offensive line has to get a lot of credit, but for big runs to occur, the wide receivers have to block well downfield.
And then you have to have a good guy carrying the ball too, right?
Oh, without a doubt. You need that difference maker lugging the rock.
At their own 25-yard line.
Houston's offense already at the line, set to get going. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep...
And that throw intercepted. It's Chris Harris, the Pro Bowl corner. And the return this time will go out to the 42-yard line. Well, when you start thinking of guys that are in the mix for Defensive Player of the Year, I think you use him as Exhibit A. Maybe he's not the leading guy right now, but he's at least on the periphery and deserves to be in the discussion.
And because of that, he's looking at a game today where in order to make that big move and maybe become the guy, he needs multiple takeaways, multiple big plays, things that get our attention and reverberate for weeks to come.
Throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete.
I remember a coach telling me a long time ago the difference between playing corner and safety in the NFL. Corner is like the Autobahn. Everybody just flying by, and these corners have been really busy in this game, although they got it done on the last play.
On the last play, yes, but there have been some good numbers put up against them offensively. On second down, it's Lindsay. And for one of the few times here today, this run's not going to go anywhere. Calling no gain on the run there, and now they'll be looking at a third down. Trying to get one more in here before the quarter breaks. So they'll get a little extra time to come up with his third down play as we played 3 quarters. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Third down, Flacco from the gun. Now a hit, and Flacco drops the football. It's loose.
On plays like this where the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back. Because this is the quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
At their own 17-yard line.
The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. They begin the drive with Johnson. And boy, this defense again really making things tough on him as they stop him for no gain. This run defense has been pretty stout all game long. Now you're here in the fourth quarter. Should rely more on the passing attack.
I don't think you have any choice, and I don't think you have to dress it up at all either. Throughout the first 3 quarters, you're still trying to convince the defense that you may run the football. That's out the window right now. Protect, let your quarterback operate.
And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off by Will Parks. And he's going to return it to the 21-yard line.
Well, this defensive pressure has been constant all game long. The pass rush, the coverage, they've all been excellent, and now they'll tack on an interception here as this one continues to slip just further and further out of hand.
Come on, let's go.
They get the pick. Now what can Flacco do on first down? Left side here, that's the tight end Fant. And they'll bring him down at the 13-yard line. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch. That's a staple of this offense. Drag route to the tight end.
Yeah, he's unable to use his size to break off much more yardage after the catch, but still an effective gain nonetheless.
And he'll only get a yard to bring up 3rd and 1. Only a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 3rd down.
Well, if the coaching staff's doing a good job upstairs, they'll file away what they just saw from the defense right there. They sold out to stop that running play. I'd say keep that in mind. They want to try that again. Go play action, hit them over the top.
And that's complete to Sanders. The completion there winds up a wash, and it'll bring up 4th down. So they go pass on 3rd and 2. They complete it, but no gain. Should they have tried to run it?
I thought that running the ball in that situation is what they would have done, because at worst case scenario, you may bring up a 4th down decision for your team. Instead, now they're not close to the 1st down.
So it's 3 more points, and that widens this thing out even further here in the 4th.
And you know in this league, you can never have enough points, but this widens it out, as you said, and now it's all about ball control, isn't it?
Come on, let's go. The Texans take over 1st and 10 at their own 21-yard line.
Houston's offense already at the line, set to get going. They are looking to make a bit of a 180. They are sputtering right now.
And frankly, I think it's time to call your playmakers together and say, all right, guys, we're going to lean on you through this patch. We need you to get us back on track and get us going in the right direction. So you're calling plays geared to them. Not necessarily that you look at your plays, oh, this hurts the defense. I want the ball in the hands of X, Y, and Z and see if we can move forward.
So don't get too cute. Go to the playmakers. Now it's Watson. He'll be brought down by the Broncos. It's a sack. Derek Wolfe popping in for the sack.
We've been around this league for a while, and many coaches never pull their starting quarterback, almost no matter the situation. In this case, though, I think he's got to make a decision. He's taking a pretty good beating out there.
Yeah, and with the deficit, maybe not wanting to risk an injury. To try again after the sack. Watson, he's letting this one go for Fuller. And he's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. Picked by Kevon Seymour. And his guys will take over at the 25-yard line. Well, that's 3 picks he's now thrown in this game.
And I know this, the holiday season, because here we are in December. Right, it is the season of giving. Maybe for his own sake, after the game, he may have to announce that he's donating certain amounts to charity for each interception that he threw.
And when do they start thinking about burning these timeouts? They've got all 3 still defensively.
To me, you have to start right now. Here's the time, and that means you've got to stop them on defense, not give up the yardage, use your timeouts in order to get the ball back and try and score yourself. But now is the time to start using those timeouts.
And keep in mind, it'll also stop the clock at the 2-minute warning. The Texans here on 3rd down, putting an extra defender in the secondary. Here's Flacco. Under pressure, and Flacco's going to be dropped. Whitney merciless. He's the culprit, and that is now his 13th sack of the season as his great year continues. 46 on his first kick, this one in that neighborhood as well. Almost outkicked his coverage there. 48-yard punt, but 10 on the return. And the Texans will take over with a 1st and 10. The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. And they've sort of lost their way, partner. How do they recalibrate and get this proverbial train back on track?
Well, this is where leadership really comes into play. How's the head coach handling it? The offensive coordinator? Sometimes they just make a joke. All right, guys, had your fun? All right.
Throw it out the window.
Yeah, let's get back on track here. And sometimes that'll work just fine.
I guess it's time now to lean on that leadership. On 1st down, it's Watson. Eluding the pressure right. And a big loss here as he's taken down. Von Miller in there for sack number 22 on the year. And, folks, that's just a half sack shy now of Michael Strahan's record of 22.5 set in 2001. Now then, after the sack, it'll be interesting to see what they have planned for 2nd and 23. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So it's Texans football as we welcome you back. They're looking at 2nd down now as they search for a consolation score.
Mike 34. Here we go. He's crashing. He's checking crack. 6 guys.
Throwing on 2nd and long. Watson, now a desperation throw deep downfield. And that'll be incomplete. Good protection that time, and they couldn't hook up on the long one. Now it's third down. Just nothing there again. He's been sacked multiple times. We've seen the interceptions, of course. He's really been through the ringer, hasn't he?
And what we've seen is a defense that's well coordinated. The front and the back really in sync. The front putting on the pressure. The backside being ball hawks and picking passes off.
Kill.
Third and long. It's Watson. And that is incomplete. Well, it just seems like all game long there hasn't been a lot of sync quarterback to wide receiver on this side of the football.
They haven't been on the same page, quarterback and receivers. Heck, they haven't been on the same grease board when you draw plays up. They haven't been on the same Surface tablet that you look at on the sidelines. Nothing's worked for them. They've got to find a way to start matching each other's movements.
All right, they're going to try and keep hope alive here on fourth down. They're going for it.
Stop your whining. Watch the eye. Hey, check 24. Watch 24.
Here we go on fourth. Watson, he's going to let it fly. And this is going to be incomplete. They had to go for it with such little time remaining, and the Broncos are going to get the football back in great field position.
Behind. Get in. Let's go, defense. Hey, man up, defense.
On first down, Lindsey. So a nice job to break the one tackle, but not much daylight after that as he's brought down. Benardrick McKinney there to make the stop.
In order to play really good run defense when you're playing a 3-4, those three guys up front, the nose tackle and the guys they call the defensive ends, they're usually big people because they're going to have to eat up a lot of blockers because it's usually 5-on-3. And when they do their job well, guys who play on the inside, those inside linebackers, they're able to just roam and hit.
The Broncos on third down, lacking much success, just 2 for 7 to this point. Here it's 3rd and 3. They'll try and run forward with Lindsey. And brought down, but not before he was able to break the tackle, and the extra effort moves the sticks. Third down turns to first with that 5-yard pickup.
First down, Denver.
From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10.
Me and you all day. I'm coming after you.
And they will take a knee here.
A loss of a yard brings up 2nd and 11 at the 35-yard line.
So this one